I love the data. I get super nerdy about the data. I get excited about it because I can look at the same data and I can look at it at a really high level about the county, or we can drill all the way down. We can even get all the way down to an individual street using our mapping tool.
Okay.
But in general, we usually start at a high level. We start at the county level. We can drill down to city. Then we can go to zip code, or if you have cities and zip codes that kind of intermix, you can pick one of those. Or we can even go to school district or subdivision. A lot of it depends on your MLS. A lot of it depends on what data your MLS has chosen to use inside of the system. And so some MLSs use really good, clean subdivision data,
Yep.
and other MLSs use not so clean subdivision data.
So you can analyze a market based on a neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inside AreaPro.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can go in, you can pick your neighborhood, and you can run with it. And if for some reason you don't have the right data there, then you can turn over to our mapping tool and you can go and you can draw. Everybody knows how to draw maps nowadays.
Yep.
And you can go in and you can draw on the map and draw a circle around the neighborhood or the 2 or 3 neighborhoods that are all together. And so you can analyze as far down as you need and as large as you need. The lowest level I've ever seen, we had a guy in Florida that was drawing a circle around a singular building. It blew my mind. I didn't know that there was an agent that was focused on a singular building, but that was his entire market.
Yeah.
And so you could go all the way down to that
condo complex on the river.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Or on the ocean. I was talking to a lady yesterday in South Carolina, in Charleston, and she asked me, she said, in our area, we have zip codes. We have everything that everyone else has. She said, but we have what's called deep water properties. And that's a term in Idaho I'd never heard of as far as a real estate approach. And she said what that means is that it's along the coastline or any of the inlets, and it's got these particular properties have access to deep water through one of the channels. And so they've either got dock, and so she said, can we do that? And I said, yeah, let's open up the map tool and we zoomed in. We turned on the Google, like the satellite view. So we were looking literally at the houses and the streets, and we started tracing the coastline, and we got everything that was like within 2 blocks of the ocean for about 10-mile stretch. And we created that area, and there were 54 listings. The average price point on those listings was $2.3 million. And then if we went inland a little bit and drew like right in the same zip code, but wanted to draw an area that went west of that, but inland, it was like 1.5 was the average. And then as you got further in, it became less and less. And so we created that area, saved it for her. So now she has this deep water properties in XYZ zip code that she can refer anytime she wants to. And then when she clicks that, she'll have that day's data.
And how long did it take you to set that up with her?
That one was probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes. 3
minutes on the long side.
On the long side. That's the longest I've ever taken to create an area in AreaPro. It's one of the main unique advantages that we have is how fast and like you said, there are 2 ways to develop areas in AreaPro. You can use an MLS field, and that's always going to be the fastest. So if there's a zip code, or a lot of MLSs have what's called an MLS area field. Yeah. And so you can, and they know what that goes from way back when, before internet, and they would break up the community into certain chunks, and they would say, this is area 157, this is area 158, and all the agents know what that means. And we can absolutely build areas based on that too. So it's a fast process. It would have been faster if I actually knew that area. I was the one driving, and she was kind of walking me through it. We were screen sharing on Zoom.
Right.
And that's why it took a little bit longer, but that's the power of it. How current is the data in AreaPro?
It updates every night. So we pull the data on a regular basis. Actually, we pull the data every about 15 minutes from the MLS. And then we aggregate it every night so that it's fresh and ready for you every morning.
Perfect.
So it's as close to real time as you're going to want for any given day.
Awesome. We just dove deep into like slicing up geographic ranges. What about price ranges? What flexibility do we have on understanding different price ranges?
So inside of AreaPro, we have 4 or 5 different price bracket models. And what the system does is it looks at all of the data that you've defined in your geographic area, and it picks the one that's closest to there. So if you're in an area that has an average price point of $2 million, it's going to pick the high-end bracket because you're dealing in that area. If you're in an area that has an average price point closer to $350,000, it's going to pick the lower price bracket. But every price bracket has 14 or 15 different price ranges, and inside of every price range, there's these price bands that you can go to, and so it breaks down into even smaller chunks.
So if my average price point's $450,000, and I want to get all the way down to like maybe 4 $470 to $480, can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get down to like a $10,000 price range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And as you get bigger, right, those slices get a little bit bigger. So if you're in the 400 range, you can get down to $10,000. When you're in the $1 million range, we only break you down to $50,000
Yeah.
price range.
You just don't need the granularity.
You don't
at
need
that
the
price point.
$10,000 granularity when you're talking about a $6 million cabin, kind of things.
Awesome. Okay, great answer. Well, if you need a tool that can allow you to just dive in instantly and understanding what's happening in a market, AreaPro's for you.